Males together in a small cage, it is a recipe for disaster.
My name is Rebecca Louise, and I'm a fitness entrepreneur, an advocate for animal welfare, and an ambassador for PAWS. I am on a journey visiting my friends at PAWS across the globe and seeing all the amazing work they do for animal welfare worldwide.
I'm here at the Sanctuary for Rescued Bears in Pristina, which is the capital of Kosovo. Now, this incredible sanctuary is the home to 20 bears that have all been rescued from human captivity by the incredible charity PAWS. Now, the most amazing thing is that there are no more bears in captivity in Kosovo because of this incredible sanctuary that has been here since 2013. So let's go and meet some of the bears and the amazing team.
Like with other PAWS sanctuaries around the world, BEAR Sanctuary Pristina is a great destination for the whole family. There is a lot to learn here, and it's also a lot of fun. Check out this labyrinth, where your knowledge of bear facts will be the key to reaching the end. BEAR Sanctuary Pristina serves as a forever home for rescued bears who were abused for entertainment and who unfortunately never learned the skills needed to survive in the wild. And one of those very important skills is hibernation.
So when they were in captivity, they obviously weren't doing in hibernation.
No
right?
chance to do
no
hibernation,
change
no,
in
no,
hibernation.
absolutely. They started their life in captivity when they were a few months old, which means they had no chance to see their mother digging a den and doing this kind of preparation for hibernations. But once we brought them here and provided them with all the conditions they need to hibernate during the winter, year after year they were going back to that.
Yeah, it's amazing because I mean they have to learn that skill. It's a brand new skill to learn, especially after like 13 years or so.
The rehabilitation process for these bears can be a long journey, and it's achieved through a principle called enrichment, activities designed to stimulate their mind. The goal is not only to get back some of those wild instincts, but also to treat behaviors that they may have developed as a result of the trauma they suffered.
Rebecca, we are close to Lena, one of the 20 bears we have that we rescued in 2013 at the time.
And what kind of condition was she in when you found her?
I mean, it was maybe 3, 4, 5 square meters, not more, in a very noisy environment. There was no chance for a bear to experience something like living as they would do in the wild. There was no chance for them to hibernate in that noisy environment there.
Yeah. Well, she's much happier. She's got much more room here than she had before.
Yeah. Although for most of the bears in these big enclosures we provide 5,000 square meters, which is the standard in PAWS.
Yep.
From time to time we can see some kind of stereotypical behaviors like pacing up and down and not using all the area we have because of this behavior, which they were somehow forced to do it because of the limited space they have while they were kept in captivity. It is something that they have experienced for 6 years. It's a very long process, and though we try to help them with leaving behind this kind of abnormal behaviors through this enrichment program we provide for them, trying to simulate natural behaviors, still from time to time we can see them going back to that behavior like pacing up and down.
The mental scars are only part of the story for some of these rescued bears. For many, a life in captivity has also taken a heavy physical toll. That's why the expertise of the PAWS veterinarian team is the key for the recovery of the bears.
Males together in a small cage, it is a recipe for disaster. Yeah. And Stevie is an example of what happens when bears are kept together in small cages. Stevie was kept for 9 years in a small cage together with another male bear. They were at the same age, but the other bear, Vinny, was more dominant. They were fighting against each other, we guess, all these 9 years they were kept in small cages. And then we believe that's the way how Stevie got hurt. We saw that his eyes were badly hurt. The vets had to remove one of the eyes because they saw that might lead to some infections, and that's why,
And as PAWS does not support captive breeding, there is another surgical procedure that is key.
So when you get the bears, so that they don't mate, are you guys like...
Yeah, it is a castration process for males because we want to keep males and females together in some cases, and in sanctuaries like this,
You don't want to breed.
We don't want to
breed. Yeah.
in a short time. I mean, there are usually 3 cubs per litter. So in a sanctuary, it doesn't matter how big it is. In a few years, you will be overpopulated with so many bears.
Yeah.
And we already talked a bit about how hard it is to keep, and especially male bears together.
Yeah, it's like, I understand why you do that, because you don't want to have 100 bears here. But then people might say, well, that's not natural. If you want to put them in their natural environment, why would you put them through a castration? That's not natural.
Yeah, but we, in the work we do, we have to choose sometimes in between what's less harmful. And in this case, keeping 100 bears together is even worse than castrating bears, male bears. When we are talking for animal welfare and for the quality of life, this is the way we are able to provide these bears. We have these 20 bears with the care we want.
Not all bears in Bear Sanctuary Pristina have been rescued from captivity as an adult. This is Andre.
Andre is the youngest bear we have, 3.5 years old. He was found when he was around 1 month, just beside the street. And then, though the authorities were considering the opportunity to keep for a while and release him back in the wild, they saw that's not gonna work. So after some time, they just asked us to take Andre under our care, and we have Andre here, trying to do all we can to provide him, like the other bears, with all he needs to live a life as close as possible to how he would live in the wild. At this age, they are really active. They change a lot when they grow up. If they are not eating, they are playing. If they are not playing, they are just running or doing something.
Yeah,
so they are quite
interested in what's going on.
Very curious.
Yeah.
After learning how important it is for bears to lead a healthy life, especially after a traumatic past, I wanted to play a role in helping young Andre continue to heal. And that meant stimulating his mind. I met Arben and Taulan, who would show me how food and enrichment are closely linked.
So this is your big main kitchen right here.
Yep. Here's a place where we storage all the food, the fridges and everything.
Wow, so I see you have all the names of the bears up there of how much food they need to eat.
Exactly. So it's more or less it's like a timetable for the, let's say, for the amount of food for each day and for every bear. So now it's a season where we feed the bears 3 times a day because they have to prepare for the hibernation during the winter. And today, of course, is the only one that we are dealing with. It's Andre, the youngest one, the spoiled one, let's say.
I love it.
So let's see what Arben,
what have we got in here?
What food we have for today. So for enrichment, they usually use the sort of fruit or veggie that they liked more.
Okay.
Let's say, so pear is one of the favorite fruits for Andre.
Yeah, he loves, you just know he likes those?
Exactly, yeah.
They're very sweet, right, pears?
Yes.
They're like those. Amazing.
They like ice cream, some of them.
Ice cream?
So what they do, they prepare ice cream for summer. Let's say, like they cut the fruits and just freeze them in the fridge.
That is so cool. Yeah. So it's just, and when do you give them these? Like obviously, like in the summertime.
We are hoping that we'll have some more warm days.
Yeah, when it's really warm.
Yeah. Otherwise, man, it's cold.
That's epic.
And not only do they get frozen treats, but also some very interesting toys made by hand by the caretakers that make for some great enrichment.
Sometimes we use, let's say, we reuse different materials.
Yep.
Of course, materials that are not like harmful for the bear or specifically for their teeth or something. We have some different bowls that we hide the nuts or the seeds inside. So all the time they have like to hit the bowl just
to
so
stimulate
that
their mind,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So we'll take this and put them also in the back of the truck. Whichever. This one, the bowl. It's going to be a funny day for Andre.
He's gonna have a great day.
Yeah. So you saw that pipe, like the tall one, we will attach it here and we will put some sawdust here. So
Yes.
like that's the thing that keeps him busy for some time here.
Okay, and that's supposed to look like what in the wild? Like if someone's like, okay, because this is obviously a man-made thing that you're bringing into their environment, what's it supposed to emulate in the real world?
Usually we see in the other enclosure, let's say, when there are some taller trees, and they find, let's say, a piece of tree that's like really elastic, so
Yeah.
they will play like with that one all the
right.
time.
So in the wild, that's what you're trying to
Exactly,
emulate what something would look like in the wild.
Exactly. So that they can behave as they would behave like elsewhere in the wild.
Yeah, makes sense. Which one?
Wait.
Which one are you
Yeah,
trying to get on?
that
Right
one,
here.
that
Yeah.
one.
Do you get excited when you make something new and the bears love it?
Okay. He's not going to tell us how he feels, but he will let you experience that feeling when we see Andre from outside, how he will enjoy the enrichment that we'll prepare. So that's you have to see it to kind of feel it. So this moves, and he's going to play with this like this.
Wow.
Oops.
Yeah,
Okay.
good job.
A pumpkin,
Perfect.
a bit of sawdust,
Yep, that's cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
a pinch of cinnamon to spice things up and stimulate the senses, and a bucket full of his favorite treat.
Like this.
Yes, he will find it.
He'll find it.
All the ingredients necessary for Andre's afternoon of fun.
He's like, dude, let me in.
It's time to see if he likes what we have in store for him. I'd say it looks like a success.
He's just loving it. It's so fun to watch him like spend just a couple of minutes on each of the things that the guys here have built him. And just seeing him just like destroy this pumpkin, I think that was the best moment where he's like swinging on one thing and the pumpkin, he managed to get access to that. He just loves the sawdust. It's great. You can just feel the energy of everybody just like absorbing and watching him. It's like just such a beautiful thing. I think that the work that everybody is doing here is like so needed, and it's not just people showing up for a job. They really care about the bears, they know the bears. So I just think that that makes this such a special organization, is that people really know, you know, like Andre's favorite fruit I found out today is pears and peaches, right? All right, pears and peaches. That's his favorite. So that's really great to know that there's so much unique care for each of these individual bears. They're doing an amazing job.
After a fun afternoon with Bear Andre, I met up with Afram, the site manager at Bear Sanctuary Pristina, to learn more about how this place came to be.
So tell me, what was the idea behind this incredible sanctuary for bears?
Our bear, Cassandra, was the main reason why PAWS stepped in to build Bear Sanctuary Pristina in Kosovo here, and to rescue not only Cassandra but other bears too, other captive bears.
I've already had an amazing tour, and I can see that the standards here are very high. What are some of the standards that PAWS and you guys enforce to make sure that this is a sanctuary that, you know, bears are really lived into their natural habitat?
We have a gold standard of PAWS to offer to the bears about 5,000 square meters per bear, which is a huge place, and we have a special support from Health and Husbandry Department of PAWS. They are supporting us to give our bears proper health care and feeding program.
This is such a great place to be. I mean, as soon as I walked in, I could feel the energy and I could feel like the love that is here. How important is this sanctuary for the community of people in Kosovo?
This is a big chance for a lot of young people from the neighbor villages that they had a chance to have a job here, young women and men who maybe never had a chance to have a job in Pristina or other places. From 35 employees, 26 of them are from neighbor village here. It's really a huge support for the community neighborhood here.
That's incredible. Great job.
Although Four Paws has managed to rescue all captive bears that were kept for entertainment in restaurants in Kosovo, some remnants of the practice still remain visible, with former cages like these scattered across the country. Afrin wanted to show me where it all started for Four Paws here in Kosovo. This restaurant went out of business and was closed in 2013. The bear it had on display, Cassandra, was left abandoned in her tiny outdoor cage with nobody to take care of her. That's when Four Paws intervened.
And this restaurant is in the middle of nowhere. So it's so hard to believe that she was just left for a year afterwards.
Really left for more than 1 year alone, without any care, without to have food or to be protected from the weather conditions. Nothing. She was. We had some information that she was many times mistreated by people coming with the dogs here and trying to train dogs toward Cassandra. For that reason, Cassandra, it's a kind of symbol of our sanctuary. Because the story behind her, it's terrible.
And as we venture deep into this property, we come across Cassandra's old cage.
Just to imagine, for a wild bear to live in such conditions, in this small cage, for many years.
How many years was she here?
She was more than eight years living in this cage, and 1 year longer. Without any care, and you see, in the summertime, without any shadow. In winter, without any protection. It was really, really, for her, for Cassandra, and for people that love animals, really terrible.
Seeing these kinds of conditions really serves as evidence of how wild animals just belong in the wild. And for bears like Cassandra, how important and necessary the rehabilitation work that Four Paws is doing at Bear Sanctuary Pristina really is.
Well, thank you so much for showing me all this. I think it's so important for everybody to be educated on, what's going on in our world. And, it's amazing that you've created a whole sanctuary from this story. So you must be really proud.
You are welcome.
You must be so proud. Thank you.
As we return to the sanctuary one last time, I'm curious to know what is in store for the future of the sanctuary.
It must feel so amazing when you can bring a bear back here and they're in their natural habitat. It must just be like, how does that feel for you?
It's really good feeling, really very good feeling. We are proud of that, and we are proud that in Kosovo we don't have more captive bears. Thanks to Four Paws and Bear Sanctuary Pristina, that it's really a positive impact of this project to the institutions in Kosovo, but to the community at the same time. We don't have such cases more in Kosovo. We are near to close this situation in Albania. We have last bear, restaurant bear, one bear that we want to rescue them and send in our Four Paws sanctuaries. And to close story with captive bears in these two countries. We have other problems in different countries where we are active as Four Paws, but we hope to solve step by step. Next year we'll have an anniversary, 10 years, and it's a really a good moment to celebrate. All these rescues, all these missions, and save a lot of lives of animals, and especially to send a message to people that we are responsible to save wildlife. This is our responsibility.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, what an incredible time that we have had here at the Bear Sanctuary in Pristina. One of the most amazing things that I have discovered and learned is the impact that it's also making in the community and the amount of jobs that it is providing for the people here in Kosovo. Make sure that you like this video, you share it with someone so that we get to educate people all around the world on what we are doing to help animals in captivity live a healthy and happy life.
Since the filming of this episode, I'm happy to report that Bear Mark, the last restaurant bear in Albania, has been successfully rescued by Four Paws, closing the chapter on restaurant bears in yet another country. Mark will now enjoy a new forever home in a Four Paws sanctuary and get the lifelong care he needs. Don't forget to subscribe to the Four Paws YouTube channel to learn more about the rescue of Bear Mark and to catch the rest of my adventures with Four Paws for animal welfare worldwide.